was recently having dinner with some friends when one of them said, make the case for why I should join a church. Why can't I just go to church? And that's a question we get a lot. A generation or so ago, joining a church was just something that you did. But culture changes, and today a lot of people aren't that interested in joining a lot of things, whether that's a Rotary Club or a labor union or a local church. And maybe you have some specific personal reasons why you haven't joined a church yet. Maybe it just wasn't a thing the way you grew up, or maybe you watch live stream sermons, you think that's all you really need. Or maybe you've had a bad church experience and you're saying, I just want to attend church with no strings attached. But I'd like to share with you why Lakeside Fellowship is committed to the idea that joining a local gospel-centered church is critical for every believer. This isn't just joining some kind of Christian club. We believe that the Bible shows Christians coming together in membership in churches from the very beginning, and we believe it does benefit the life of every believer. So here are 5 reasons why we think church membership is important for every Christian. Number 1, membership is in the Bible. Now, I can't point to a specific verse that says, thou shalt join a local church, but there aren't verses that mention the Trinity explicitly either, and the Trinity is all over Scripture, just like church membership is all over the New Testament. In Acts chapter 6, we see the church picking deacons from among themselves, which shows they know who would formally become part of that church. In 1 Corinthians 5, Paul talks about church discipline, and that shows they knew who was actually inside the church and who was outside the church. And they only knew that by looking at who had made a formal commitment to being a part of the body. Number 2, membership shows you're committed. Just like getting baptized tells the world you have decided to follow Jesus Christ, church membership shows that you are going all in on living in community with other believers in this specific place. 1 Corinthians 12 and Ephesians 4 both talk about the church as a body where all the parts function together and they stick together, even when things get difficult. When you become a church member, you make a promise to do the basic things every Christian should do: attending worship services, serving together, promoting unity in the body, and giving to the ministry. And that leads us to point number 3, membership holds you accountable. Now, to be honest, this is one of the reasons a lot of people don't want to join a church. It means you're going to have Christian brothers and sisters helping you follow through on the promises of the things you say you believe every Christian should do. As a church member, you don't just drop in on church every once in a while. Church membership says that in the middle of a low commitment culture, you are publicly stating, I am going to commit to being a part of this church. You're not church hopping. You're putting down roots here. And you're telling all the other members, I want you to help hold me accountable to the things I say I believe in. Number 4, membership helps church leaders help you. Now, all of our pastors and other church leaders are committed to loving our entire community. But passages like Hebrews 13:17 say church leaders have a specific accountability to take care of the people who are members of the church family. To do that well, we need to know who is formally part of that church family. Every Christian should want to be in a community of believers where pastors are committed to serving as your shepherd because they know you are part of this flock. And number 5, membership is a blessing for you. We are a very independent bunch in the United States of America, but our culture is also dealing with an epidemic of loneliness. God created us to thrive in Christian community, and joining a church plugs you into a group of like-minded believers in a way that casual commitment just isn't going to match. We all want to feel like we belong somewhere, and church membership is part of Jesus' plan to fulfill that desire through local church relationships. We are called to fellowship with other believers, to serve together, to encourage one another, to bear each other's burdens during hard times. By becoming a church member, you're showing that you value being in that kind of community and you want to benefit from being in that kind of a community. I hope this helps explain why we feel so strongly about church membership at Lakeside Fellowship. We believe it's a biblical command, and we believe it is a beneficial part of being a Christian. If you're interested in talking about membership at Lakeside Church or just the idea of church membership in general, reach out anytime.